Recently, my friend Adam reached out via text. It says the 7th and 8th grade boys are coming over to do some water sports on Friday. If you're interested, you could drive your truck down to the river, and then if you had a smaller wheelchair, you could get onto the family pontoon boat. The dock to boat transition is level. Would love to have you come out. And then he sent me a few photos so I could see what the boat and dock configuration looked like, and he even measured the width of the front door. I thought, how nice that he took the time to go through all that just so that I can feel included. But I was feeling really bad because my chair was just too wide for that entrance. So I knew that the only way that I could get in is if several people awkwardly lifted me out of my chair and got me over the front metal entrance and into one of the seats. So I tried to politely write Adam back, saying that my chair was too wide and that I would need help from several people. Without skipping a beat, he just wrote the same thing back again, saying, "Would love to have you out." There it was. He wasn't going to back down. Such a simple invitation for most, "Would love to have you out." But for me, it causes a bit of hesitancy at times. My inner monologue says, "Well, that's really nice of you to invite me, but are you sure? This could be much more inconvenient than you expected or hoped for." And then there's the ever-present fear of incontinence. What if moving me in some unusual way triggers something? Am I close enough to this friend to overcome that embarrassment? This is not a common occurrence. It's only happened a handful of times since my injury in public. And it's usually only family that knows about it. But still, it only takes one or two embarrassing times to kind of instill that fear moving forward. To my surprise, I said, "Let's do it." So Adam recruited a neighbor friend, Jason, and the two of them kindly lifted me out of the chair, over the edge of the boat, and into the pontoon seat. And then we just enjoyed watching the kids tubing down the river behind the boat. The lake breeze, it was a sunny day, just like it is today. And I found myself telling Adam, "You know what? I think this is the first time I'm in a boat ever since the accident 6 years ago. And I grew up boating whenever we would visit my dad in Spain. But for some reason, we haven't tried figuring out a way to do it since then. So thank you for the invite, Adam." The next day, my friend Guy announced at church that there would be a group river float the following week. And people just needed to provide their own kayak or canoe or paddleboard. So Sarah quickly made arrangements to borrow 2 paddleboards, one for herself and one for our youngest daughter, Lydia. And she encouraged me to find arrangements too. But I didn't take any action all week. I kept waffling because on the one hand, I wanted to go, I wanted to be with that group of people to know that I had done it. But on the other hand, my week was so busy with work and soccer coaching and church duties that I didn't really think that I had the time to sort through all the details. I've learned that as a paraplegic, I can't quite be as spontaneous. I need to have a plan B often for things, try things at home. Then that makes the experience of doing it out in public a lot more enjoyable. It's not like I hadn't had the opportunity to try it out before. Our friends Jeff and Carissa, they're big into kayaking. A decade ago, they paddled all the way across the state of Michigan with Jeff's dad and nephew as a fundraiser. How many rivers did it take to get from one side to another?
2.
How many dams did it take to...
8 games,
12 days.
285 months.
We forced ourselves to eat 574 granola bars each.
And the fundraiser was for...
To adopt this guy.
They own an inflatable kayak, and for the last couple of years, Jeff has persistently tried to get me out on the water, but somehow it never materialized. I think most of the time it was just conflicting schedules, but there was also that intention of carefully planning it out, thinking through what are the best put in and pull out places so that I can easily transfer onto the kayak, thinking about what cushions or towels I need to use in order to avoid pressure sores, whether we should attach maybe floaties on the side to kind of give it more stability like a catamaran. Anyway, back to the church float thing. I never did anything about it. And so then, on the day of the float, I'm sitting at church Saturday morning, and I find myself texting with Jeff and Carissa saying, "Do you guys want to join us on a river float this afternoon?" which was literally like 2 hours later. And to my surprise, Jeff was an immediate yes. And then when I asked the guy where the put-in spot was going to be for the group, he said, "We're going to get you in no matter what." Jeff kicked into high gear and immediately had a safer put-in spot for me. A guy volunteered to carry me by piggyback. I warned him that it was going to be tricky. It's like carrying a giant sack of potatoes. But he just flexed his burly legs and said, "Bring it on." It was a bit scary during the mount and dismount, but I was so grateful that he would do this for me. The blow-up kayak wasn't quite ready yet, so I hung out on an air cushion for a few minutes until Oliver and Guy picked me up one more time and put me into the kayak. I owe you? Yes.
No, you make me start dreaming. You don't know what.
Big ideas, huh?
I love it. I love
All
it.
right, before we take off, I'd just like to have a quick prayer over this trip. So we're all paddling down the river having a good time, and I find myself telling somebody, this is the first time I'm out here on the river on a kayak or canoe since my injury. And I was like, wait a minute, I just said that like a week ago. So I just smiled. I was like, there's a theme here. Yes, my legs were squished, which made paddling a little trickier, but it was a perfect day out on the water. Sunny, crisp, dry air, the colors of blue and green and white blending together, water fights, being close to my wife and youngest daughter, all of it.
It's cozy.
It's so cozy in here. Very cozy. Very, very, very cozy.
Hey, how dare you leave me behind?
The Wes Anderson shot.
Come on, what is that?
Jason Bourne survived.
Yes, kill him. You can't kill him. I was grateful to Jeff for experimenting with me, being the main paddler so that I could learn the best way to balance myself, and keeping me company with his upbeat ways, which I've grown familiar with. When we got to the end, I waited in the kayak while they fetched our van, and then Oliver, Guy, and Jacob lifted me one last time onto Oliver's back and then placed me back in the van. It's a vulnerable thing to be at the complete mercy of someone's sense of balance, whether they have good grip on their shoes, feeling the muscle strain and the breathing under my weight. Jeff,
Awesome trip.
thank you so much, man.
That's so cool it came together.
Thank you so much.
It was wonderful.
Two things stand out for me from these experiences. The first one is, why haven't I tried this sooner? I could have tried harder to try to get on my dad's boat somehow, or rent another one that was easier to get into. And then there was Jeff's invitation for kayaking all along. So am I just stuck? Is my mind what's keeping me from trying new things? I think there is some truth to that. We all get comfortable with our routines, and we forget to know how to play, how to have a childlike spirit. But my wife Sarah also reminds me of something important, and that is to give grace to myself. It can take so much longer than we want to in order to reach a sense of normal after a disabling injury. We're dealing with just the basics of getting our health and energy back, addressing toileting issues, housing needs, transportation needs. And even when those basic things are covered, if you're in the stage of parenting, man, you still have a lot less energy to try out new things. So, as the old saying goes, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. Maybe a couple weekends ago, trying out adaptive kayaking was the perfect time for me. And second, I wouldn't have had those experiences without the invitations. I don't own a pontoon boat that I can just go out and use it and try it out sometime. Adam reached out. And as for kayaking, Jeff persistently keeping the open invitation there, and it took Guy to organize the group river float and Sarah to make her own arrangements, all those things to finally nudge me to try it out. I'm so grateful for invitations. I'm so grateful for friends and community. I'm so grateful to God for these blessings. So, do you know someone that could be blessed by an invitation, whether disabled or not? Or are you the one being invited to try out something new? Or do you just need permission to accept the limits of your life right now, with grace and patience, following the invitation whenever that comes, wherever it fits? Do you have a story about inviting or being invited? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Adios.
$574 granola bars. We managed to swallow two. Blah, blah, blah. Better. It took 12 days. We spent 6 days paddling down each river for a total of 12 days. It took 12 days of paddling. We paddled 6 days on each of the rivers. 6 plus 6 equals 12.
And now just